How to assemble my Colour at Home 2026 calendar. These are available on my Etsy store and you can print these at home, or if you're at college, school, whatever, somewhere where you can just print yourself some copies. And you can colour these first before assembling, but I decided to assemble and then colour after because I know what I'm like and it was going to take me forever because I want them to look really good. So you start by punching holes into each of the pages. There's already marks on there so you know where to punch the holes. If you don't have a hole punch, you can use a pencil with some blue tack behind it and make some holes that way, or you can also use a stapler if you want to staple them together, but I think this was the best way for me to hole punch. You can do these a few pages at a time or each one singular, which is what I decided to do because I wasn't too bothered about them all matching up perfectly. I want it to look like it's been made at home. This is a bit of my stand against AI this year, so I want to get crafting, get making, lots of physical things, because I feel like I'm just chronically online at the moment. So I thought this would be a fun way to get everyone crafting. Once you've punched all the holes, it's time to start assembling them and get all the pages in the right places so they're the right way up. You just kind of had to visualize what the pages are going to look like once you open them. That's the way I did it. You can actually print these so they're on the reverse of each page, but because I want to use, I don't know if I'm going to use watercolor or pens yet, but because I'm going to use those, I don't want it to bleed through onto the other side. Also, I decided to use normal printer paper because I wanted to show how easy it was to do these at home with just materials that you've got. You just got to try and think what's on the reverse of each page and match them up to the months. Once you've lined all your pages up and in the right order, it's time to put some string through each of the holes and we're going to bind it all together. Now I use 12 inches of twine, but if you've got ribbon, if you've got, I don't know, whatever you've got, you can use for anything. I'm thinking like they're metal round hoop things that some people use for binding paper. But I cut 4 of these, and all you're going to do is thread them through each of the holes at the top. Make sure you're putting them through each of the holes, each of the pages, and I'm going to use a paintbrush to make sure they're all quite loose. So when you open it out, it's not too like stuck together. I want it to be quite loosely bound. And I'm going to neaten it all up, and then that's that part done. It's time to colour in. And a random side note, you can actually use this page to test your colours on. So you can figure out which colours you're going to use for each month. And also, if you're doing an A5 calendar, make sure you chop them down this middle line first. And then literally all you can do is the same as you did with the A4 and bind it all together. I was actually going to find some ribbon for this one because I wanted to do it different, but I like the twine that much. I just decided to stick with the twine. I think it looks really cute and rustic, especially because it's a whimsigoth calendar. I think it suits it. And here it is side by side with the A4 one, so you can see the size difference. You can actually print these whatever size you like. And like I say, you can print on reverse, and these are available on my Etsy shop now. And if you don't want a calendar, you can just use the colouring pages or the note pages to make your own notebook or colouring book, or just use the calendar pages and make a little mini calendar. Make sure you share these with me once you start colouring because I want to see what you're doing. Also, if you want to stick around, I'll be colouring these in throughout the months, so enjoy.